Good evening. Welcome to my midweek recap and plan ahead for Thursday and Friday here on Apple. Now, Tuesday, I was preoccupied with the position I was in for the S&P 500, so I did miss this initial move above 177.40. If you remember from my previous video, that's the move I was looking for, and as it turns out, made a nice climb up there. I took one trade up here as it looked like it was going to be a continuation flag on a 5-minute time frame. Got in some 180 calls at 196, trailed me out at 179. That one failed, obviously. Then it came down here. It looked like price action was going to hold the low of the opening range low. On a break above a green candle here, got in some 180 calls for next week at 140 and added those as it came down, retested the lows. It looked like it was going to continue. There was a hammer here, and eventually just said, screw it, I'm out here at 106. Overall, took quite a bit bigger of a loss than I originally had planned, and just have to learn to not do that anymore. Sometimes that does happen, a little bit of mental slip up. It is what it is. Today, ended up taking two trades in Apple as well. Got in some 175 calls here at the first break over a 15-minute inside candle. The 175 calls for next week at 156 trailed me out on the break below that candlestick at 140. Later on in the day, I was actually on the 30-minute time frame just to illustrate what it was I was looking at exactly. Saw a break above a green candle here, got in right on this break at 136 and next week's 177 and a half calls here. Stop loss was just below here. The reason I took this trade is because the low of the day, if you look over here on the daily time frame, was the 8 EMA. Whenever I see price action at the 8 EMA, I'm also automatically thinking look for support, look for some sort of confirmation of support, and trade for that type of move. As it turns out, I did get in those calls, took half of them off here midway through the day. Some news came out with Apple. There's a huge spike in volume. Price action came all the way up, sold all the way back down, and took half the position off just to lock in some profits for the week. And eventually, it ended up running up much higher. Came up to the previous breakdown level from yesterday, which was around here 177.40-ish area. Looked like it was going to reverse here on a 30-minute basis and the 15, and closed out the rest of the position. Overall, it was a very nice gain. Nothing really to complain about other than the fact that it ran much, much higher from there. These calls actually went up to about 350, which would have made way more than the 100% gain that I usually look for. It just did not work out in my favor today. I think the few losing trades I've had this week actually kind of messed with my psyche a little bit, and I will look to make better decisions for the next couple of days. Now, what I'm looking at here is a couple of other support levels. I have lines on here at the 8 EMA 175.90-ish area, which coincides over here, and the 21 EMAs around 174.20-ish area, which they will move up tomorrow on the open, depending on what price action does. Most likely they'll be a little bit higher. Those will be my two support levels I'll be looking for entries at. I will be also looking for a break above 179.50 because this looks like it could be a potential cup and handle type of pattern forming, and for a nice move up pre-earnings. Still, overall, this flag pattern is looking very tasty, looking like it's going to actually complete and run up here to around 190-ish area. So for the time being, I'm still going to stay bullish, and a spike above yesterday's candle, Tuesday's candle at 179.40 should likely lead to a nice little short squeeze. Price action is in an uptrend. You have a very bearish candle well above the 8, 21, and 50 moving averages. Bears are really going to get screwed here unless they've already started covering, which is where this volume came in. That's just my thought process behind this plan. Anywhere in between these levels, there could potentially be some potential support, maybe at the VWAP here, but as price action does come up, VWAP will automatically run right up to it. So just have to be patient on the opening drive above 179.50 or pull back all the way back down to one of these levels down here. This will be my trade plan for Thursday morning and into Friday. Have a good evening and good luck.